What's going on, guys? This is Brain from Advancement Hockey Advising here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys firsthand how to professionally write up an email to send to hockey coaches. So later on in this video here, you'll see that this is going to be a completely new style of video. It's basically going to be an integrated video where I'm going to share my screen and actually, show you how to write up an email step by step for you. It's going to be a new kind of video, and we really want your feedback here from you guys, especially you guys that have been subscribed here for a while. We want to see how you guys like the interactive style videos versus, the normal style videos that we do here, just to kind of get a gauge, because if you guys actually like these kind of videos, we're going to keep pumping out more and more in the future here. So we really would appreciate your feedback on this. So we're making this video here because emailing coaches is actually quite a central part of the whole recruiting process, right? You're probably going to be reaching out to a lot of coaches throughout your career. And if you're going to reach out to them a lot, email is usually the primary means to do it. And if you're going to do that, you want them to be professional, right? You want them to be dialed down so coaches actually take you seriously and they actually read your emails and actually hopefully contact you back, So you want this part to really be dialed down and done well. Just a quick note that I want to mention here. For those of you who do have advisors right now or get advisors in the future, the advisor is the one that does this for you, okay? So you don't have to worry about this, but it's still a good skill to know. Even if you're planning on getting an advisor, knowing how to write up an email in a professional way is actually a really good skill to have. You're going to use that in your professional career in the future, so you might as well learn now, right? But for those of you who get advisors, you don't have to worry too much about it. But I know, those of you watching here, not everybody's going to get an advisor, right, in the future. I completely understand that. So, we're trying to help you best write up an email yourself if you want to start contacting coaches yourself, okay? So you can definitely use this video as a reference whenever you're writing, whenever the time comes that you're writing to coaches. All right, now before we dive into the details here, as always, just a quick reminder to absolutely smash that like button. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video again moving forward. All right, so right before I share my screen with you guys and kind of dive into composing the email here, I first want to talk about 4 key principles that we're going to keep in mind as we're writing up this email, okay? The first one being that is you want to keep it professional, right? Professionalism is key. If you're not professional while writing this email, right, if there's spelling mistakes everywhere, if it doesn't look good, if you're not, using the right language and all that kind of stuff, right? If you don't keep it professional, a coach is quickly gonna not lose respect for you, but quickly, not gonna take you seriously and just delete the email, not reply to you, okay? So keeping it professional is very important, okay? Second of all, you wanna personalize the email. This is extremely important, right? It's so tempting to and it's much easier to just send a mass email to a bunch of coaches, right, and not personalize it. But coaches see right through this, right? They get hundreds of emails a day. And I can tell you for a fact, if I get an email that's not personalized from whatever marketing campaigns trying to target me or whatever, I instantly almost delete it, right? So it's very important that you do personalize these emails when you send it to the coach. Okay, so maybe say something like coach and their last name, right, when you introduce yourself, and say why that you want to go to their specific program. We're going to talk about this more as we're crafting the email, but personalizing is extremely important. Third principle to keep in mind here is to keep it short and sweet, okay? You want it to be simple, easy to understand, short and sweet. The more concise you make the email, the better, right? Again, these coaches read hundreds of emails a day, right? They get so many emails coming into their inbox that if the email is too long, if you write a novel on them, they're not going to read it, okay? So really important, you keep it short and sweet. That being said, you don't want to omit any important info, right? You want to make sure that it has enough info in there. And you're going to see in the example email that we craft what the necessary info is to put in there, but nothing beyond that, okay? You want to keep it as concise as possible so it increases the chances that they actually read your email. And last but not least here, key principle number 4 is all about timing, okay? Then there's 2 parts that go into this. The first part is, let's say you're going to a showcase, let's say you're on a junior team or on a prep team, you're going to an NCAA showcase, something like that. Write down a list of schools, okay, your target schools that you want to go to, and email them about 2 to 3 weeks before you actually go to this showcase, okay? 2 to 3 weeks is that golden spot you want to email them at. So it gives them enough time to, if they can go, to logistically, make the arrangements to go. But it's not too early. Let's say you email them 2 months before, well, they might forget about it, okay? So 2 to 3 weeks before, that's usually the golden zone to email programs, okay, to come see at a showcase. The second part here about timing is that if you're playing junior hockey or prep hockey or something like that, and you want to email NCAA coaches, do it, around the beginning of your season, sometime in early September, something like that. Do it whenever you've played a couple games, you know where you're at in the lineup, there's no surprises anymore, you know where you stand about. If you stand in a good situation, that's when you're going to email the NCAA programs. You're doing this because their seasons haven't, really started yet, so that's when they're heavily recruiting. So if you know where you stand at that point, you're going to email the NCAA programs and the coaches at that point in time. All right, so I'm just gonna share my screen here. So now you're seeing in front of me the email provider that we use, and we're just gonna go ahead and use this for, crafting the email here. So the first thing that I wanna mention here is that, it's important that you choose the right email name and use the right provider, okay? That ties right into the professionalism thing, okay? So here for us, for me, I use braidandpearl@ahadvising.com, right? For you guys, it's gonna be different, right? Typically, for your email name, you want to put your first and last name if possible. Now, sometimes it can be taken, sometimes you have to add a dot, an underscore, a number. That's totally fine, but first and last name is what you want to be looking at. And then for email provider, you want to choose something like Gmail, Outlook, a custom email if you want to, a school email, but something that makes sure that you keep it professional. That's the biggest thing at the end of the day. You don't want to put like hockeypro888@hotmail.com, right? It doesn't look good if you have this. You don't want to put unidentifiable email either, like LLF, whatever, something like that, 884. Like the coaches, it just doesn't help, right? Because they don't know where it's coming from. So you really want to make sure that the email name and provider is just identifiable and professional at the end of the day. The second thing that's really important is your email signature, okay? And obviously for you guys, you won't need the logo. You won't have the company name here that we have, right? You're not going to have that, but you want to have the basics, right? So first is just to have the salutation. You can have something like thanks, regards, warmly, anything like that you like best, you can put in there. It doesn't really matter what it is as long as you have it there. And then the most important thing here in the email signature, and actually probably the second most important thing, but important, have your name bolded here. So it's really important that your name sticks out so the coach knows who you are, so that he can actually identify you, okay? So that's the one big thing. Next, obviously, like we said, you don't really need this title here. For us, it's important, but for you guys, not so important. You can put your team name here if you want to, and your number, your jersey number, but it doesn't really matter. You can skip this step if you want to, or you can put your team name. It's up to you. Here, extremely important, putting your phone number, okay? Very, very important to put your contact info. You can list your email too. That's important as well. But obviously the coach has your email if you're emailing them, right? But it's very important to list your phone number. I can't tell you the amount of times that, I just sent an email to a coach. They never respond. They just called me right away, and right there you have a contact. If you can get a coach on the phone, it's that much better, okay? So listing your phone number is very important, because if you have their phone number, it's much better than just emailing back and forth. It's a more intimate relationship, if you will. So listing your phone number, extremely, extremely important, okay? As to how to go about setting up this email signature, you basically just go in settings, you put all the info that you want ahead of time, and then you just hit that every reply you send and every new email you send, you just check mark both checkboxes. And from there, it's just going to ensure that every time you reply to someone, you compose a new email, the email signature will automatically pop up. All right, so now that that's out of the way here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pretend like I'm emailing myself here. And the next thing that's really important here is the subject line, right? You really want to have a subject line, as we talked about before, that captures the coach's attention, right? They get 100 emails a day, if not more. They get a ton of emails. So it's really important that you have something that sticks out, that captures their attention, and they don't just see it and delete it, okay? So for example, what wouldn't be good is saying something like hockey, right? Much too general. It doesn't really tell the coach what you are or anything like that. The chances of them opening it is much lower than if you put something more specific. What would be better is if you put something like skilled right winger, if that's your position, right? Whatever your position is, interested in your program. Something like that, right? Make sure there's no spelling mistakes. I always triple check my stuff because I usually make spelling mistakes. So make sure that you check your stuff too. But something like this tells the coach, okay, if this is who he is, right? And he's interested in my program. If the coach is actually looking for a skilled right winger, which a lot of coaches are, right? He'll probably open this email versus if you just put hockey or no subject or. So now moving on to the last part here, the email body, which is very important, right? That's where you put all the relevant info. So how I typically like to start mine is saying coach, right? Your coach, whatever his last name is, okay? And then from there, you're gonna go to the next thing. So, and here, this is what we're talking about for personalized, right? You say coach Pearl or coach, whatever their last name is, okay? It's very professional to do it this way because you're acknowledging that they're coach and you're putting their last name to make it personal, but you're not calling them by their first name. Calling them by their first name, unless you know them well, is typically not the way to go if you're a player, okay? So putting coach and their last name is the way to go here. Okay, so moving on. The way I like to start is like very simple. My name is da-da-da-da-da, right? Whatever your name is. I'm from wherever it is, right? And here you're gonna wanna put the city and you're also gonna wanna put the country that you're at as well, okay? This is quite important because, for a lot of coaches, where you're from, the country you're at, will determine if you're an import or anything like that. So it's really important to put the country here, okay? Don't exclude this detail. It's actually quite important. So I'm from so-and-so and I'm interested in your program because boom, 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 boom. And then you state, a good reason why, okay? You could put like 1, 2, or 3 reasons why you're interested. This is where you get specific and this is where you get personalized, okay? So you don't want it to be so personal and put so much time into every email because that takes way too much time, right? But you want to put at least here by putting their last name and putting interested in their program and actually finding a good reason why, saying, hey, because you guys, won the championship last year, because you guys have been above 500 for the past 3 seasons in a row, you made playoffs for the past 5 seasons in a row, anything like that. Anything that shows the coach that you did some sort of homework on them, that's going to make a huge difference. It's going to let them know, okay, they didn't just send a mass email to everyone, okay? And then from there, okay, once you're done this part, obviously these are going to be the same, right? But these are the ones that you're going to be altering each time, okay? Once you're done these parts, the rest is going to be copy paste, okay? Because obviously you want to make it personal, but you don't time is valuable, right? You don't want to be spending too much time on this either. All right, so moving on to the next section here, I'm just going to go ahead and copy paste it like I did right here ahead of time, just not to waste time. So this is something I would just say here. So below you'll find the information about me that I believe would be the most useful to you. Feel free to contact me back at your earliest convenience if you're interested or if you need any other information. Boom. Anything like that is a good, standard sentence or 2 that you can say. You can modify it, but something like that I would say. Okay. And then here is where I'm going to actually include the relevant information. Now, I'm not going to include it. And I'm probably not going to put my name again here just because my name's here and my name's going to be up here. You can if you want, but it's a bit redundant. I wouldn't really worry about it, right? Less is better always. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with birth year, right? That's very important. Some people don't realize this, but birth year is very important to coaches, how they recruit. So that'd be the first thing I would include. The second thing I would include here is your position, right? So your position and also /shot, okay? So right or left, okay? So you could put something like left wing, right center, right D, goalie, anything like that. All right, so the next thing I would put here is either your team, your current team that you're playing for. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put current team. Next, afterwards, I would put your type. And this, 3 to 4 points, okay? And you just put it all in one bullet. So you could put like goal scorer, playmaker, PK specialist, power play specialist, hard hitter, grinder, anything like that can describe you, 3 to 4 points, quick points that really describe you is what you want to put in the type here, just to give a coach an idea of how you play. Next, you're going to put your elite prospects link. So here, you're going to go ahead and put, here, I'm just going to do this to start here, but you're going to go elite prospects. You're going to, search your name in there, search your profile. And then when you see your URL link on top, you're going to go ahead and copy paste that URL link. You're going to go ahead and paste it here. And then that way the coach is just one click away from seeing your elite prospects. It saves them time. They actually really appreciate it when you do this. Next, also very important, your highlight video link, okay? You're gonna put that here. So again, we talked about in the past a bunch before how important a highlight video is. But when you do a highlight video, you don't want to just click down here, right? You don't want to do this in attached video files. You're very limited as to how long the video can be. Instead, you want to have a highlight video that's about 2 to 3 minutes long, something like that, and what you want to do when you have it all edited together, you upload it to YouTube, okay, or any other platform that's online. And from there, they generate a link, right? A URL link. You're going to copy paste that link and you're going to put it here, okay? Coaches really appreciate that, again, because it's nice and easy. It's quick video access, and there's a higher chance that they'll get back to you after they watch video, okay? That's really going to help separate you. So putting your highlight video link here is really going to help you out, okay? So extremely important yet again. And then last but not least, and this is only if it's applicable, but it's your GPA in high school or in college, depending on what you're doing, and your SAT/ACT score, okay? Very, very important here that you put this in when it's applicable. Don't put it in if you're emailing junior coaches or prep coaches, anything like that. But if you're emailing NCAA coaches or U Sports coaches, you want to put the relevant standardized test scores and your GPA in there, because they need that info to know, okay, are you actually eligible for my program, first of all, okay? So that's the last thing you're going to put here. But overall, don't put anything more than this, okay? Don't put your hockey CV, don't put full game video, nothing like that. You only put the bare minimum like this that we showed in this email. That way you put all the relevant info, but you don't overwhelm the coach either when they're first starting, right? If they wanted more info, they're actually going to ask you for it, okay? But you want to start out with the basics. That way they know who you are, they have an idea, and if they're interested, they kind of go from there, okay? Very, very important that you do that. And the last point I want to talk about here is your elite prospects link, okay, right here. If anything's inaccurate on elite prospects or it's not up to date, it's totally okay to add a bullet point here, okay? And to just list, okay, so-and-so information's not accurate on elite prospects. Here are my current stats. You give them the points, the games, the games played, the points, the goals, and the assists, something around those lines, just to give them a good up-to-date idea, okay? But apart from that, that's the minimum info that you want to give. And that's how you kind of go about, crafting the email. Make sure, as you go through it, you double check, you didn't make any spelling mistakes, you put all the relevant info in there, and then you just double check that everything's good to go. And then once you're done, you just go ahead and click send and you're ready to go. You're done, making a professional email, and you've contacted your first coach. All right, so let's just do a quick recap of all the stuff we talked about here today. So the first thing is the key principles, right? So there's 4 of them. Number 1, you keep it professional. Number 2, you make it personalized, the email. Number 3, you want to keep it short, sweet, and concise. And number 4 is you have to have the right timing. And then moving on to the key steps while actually composing the email here. So number 1, you want to choose the right email name and provider, okay? Number 2, you want to include a nice professional email signature. Number 3, you want to have an attention-capturing subject line. Then number 4, you want to have a body of the email that's short and sweet, personalized, concise, and all that stuff, but that has all the relevant info in there. All right, guys, that is it for the video. Again, as you saw, it was a completely new style of video. So if you did enjoy this video, definitely let us know. If you have any feedback, definitely let us know. Drop a comment down below, or if you have anything you want to talk about us in particular, feel free to email us at info@ahadvising.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And again, if you're new here and if you got any kind of value out of this video, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video again moving forward. And that is it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this new style of video here, and we'll catch you on that next one.